Hey everyone, and welcome to day 4 of the Starcraft 2 AI tournament. I am here again with Ketrock. How you doing?
Hey, Grip, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. And Laughing Games. How you doing, man?
Good, good. Glad it's the weekend and ready for some more bots.
Yes, some hot bot on bot action, as they say, when we get there. Yeah, last week we had halfway through round 3. We got a nice long draw between Wickedbot and Anibot. We'll have the conclusion of that epic saga tonight, as well as lots of other fun games coming up. It should be fun.
Right, I forgot about that.
Yeah. No, we did attempt to rerun the game live on air last week. It didn't quite work out as we had planned, but we do have the rerun done now, so it's all good.
Are we
Yeah,
still in the dark, or do you know happen to know the result, or could we be watching like nonstop draws and we don't know yet?
No, I did check the replay this time, so it is not a
Okay,
draw.
so guaranteed
Okay,
result this time. That's good.
guaranteed result. It is not a draw. Normally, I do screen replays, and if it is like a long drawn out draw, I'll just rerun the match. But unfortunately, due to my fuck up last week, I didn't do it. So, and then guaranteed, the time you don't do it, it ends up in a draw. So yeah.
hey, I'm all right with it. That draw is fun to watch. So
Yeah.
There was once a bot on the ladder who was it was a fairly strong bot for the division he was in, but he only would expand and defend. So he would get a lot of money, defend really well, but he would never try to win the game. So like it caused so many draws on the ladder.
Uh,
yeah, that's an interesting one because like whenever I like think about like potentially trying to write like a bottom, like building like a defensive bot seems really appealing, but then you do have to figure out how to win the game at the end of
Yeah.
the day. So
yeah. All right, so let's have a look at the results from last week. We had Eris 2-0 over Sharpened Edge. We sadly lost Aeolus to Dominion Dog. And this week we'll have and Sharkbots and GPT got a win to go 2-1. Obviously, Anibot and Wikibot will come up later. Cool. So first up, um, next. First up is Kaninana. Unfortunately, on 0-2, seeded 12th. Has done really well in the past, but is struggling a bit in this tournament. Losses against Benbot BC and GPT in the first 2 rounds. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, Canny Nana was like the solid number 2 Zerg bot after Eris. Hasn't received much in the way of updates recently, I don't believe. So other bots are starting to catch up to him, and you know, this is a little surprising, I guess. But this is what happens when bots go idle. They start to get surpassed.
Yep. And up against
With
one
yeah,
that
our
it
new
said,
bot.
he's still got to be the favorite, I would assume.
Yeah, up against our new bot, and one that's really impressed me so far, Avocados. 0-1
do you
against
remember the
Sharpened Edge.
acronym crypt?
I do. A villainous, a, a villain of cheesy and dishonorable offensive strategies, I think.
Nice.
Well done.
I do have a
He does have
memory
the best name.
occasionally, yeah.
I can't remember that, so
He does tell you at the start of every game, so it's kind of easy sometimes. Um, cool. All right, guys, are we ready to get into our first game? Just give me
yeah,
one
let's
Yeah,
do it.
let's do
moment.
it.
I'll share that across with you.
I'm a fan of both DOS and avocados, so
Yeah.
I think I know who I'm cheering for.
All right, let's go.
Okay, spawning up in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the red Zerg Caninana. And spawning down in the bottom left, I believe in his first tournament ever, it is the blue Terran Avocados.
Yeah, I do believe Avocados is a pretty new bot. It was just put on the. It was initially created November 2nd, 2025, so very new. It must have been cutting it pretty close with the cutoff for the ladder, just with not being on there very long, but being able to qualify and We'll see how it does against Kananana.
Yeah, I mean, I don't recall too much about avocados, but I'm going to assume as a new buddy, he's probably more on the cheesier all-in sort of strategy. And that is something County Nana has traditionally had issues with in the past. He got a little bit better against it, but for a long time, like every cheesy bot would just run right over County Nana who's trying to get to the late game.
Yeah, Kananana, it's like pretty solid, but it's definitely not bulletproof,
Yeah.
and it has loss to timings, that kind of thing. Avocados going for the macro cheese though,
Mm.
as it opens with a command center first in the TVZ matchup, which is exciting and a very wise move against Kananana because like that command center I think started before the Zerg's hatchery.
Yeah, pretty close. Um, we're not on the latest update of SE2 yet. We're one patch behind, so I don't think the hatcheries are cheaper yet. But
Oh, okay. I thought they were, but you're more on it with that kind of thing. That would be
yeah,
good to
I'm
know
like
because the
70% sure I know what I'm talking about.
because the queen one's like a pretty big change too. So
Yeah, basically they've made the queen more expensive, so you can't just spam queens at the start of the game. And then Zerg got a whole bunch of compensation for that. So one of those pieces of compensation was the hatchery is cheaper to produce. I think it's 50 less minerals. We do have a third barracks going down. So kind of reminds me of like old school CC first builds for Terran, where like the only way pros thought it was safe was to go immediately into 3 racks after CC first, and kind of seeing that here. So we expect a lot of bio early on. Zergling does
yeah,
get in here, gets a little scout, able to see the 3 racks, and we'll see if
look at that, a
Canada
fourth
makes
one
any
too.
adjustment for that. Yeah, there's a fourth, but I don't think it was spotted by the Zergling. I could be wrong. It's pretty close.
And the fifth Rax goes up. So avocados is mining a bit of gas. It's probably just for combat shield or stim pack to power up the mass marines that it seems to be going for. And this can be pretty powerful when Terrans basically just go for a quick eco boost and then just pump units without investing into further tech. Looks like we are getting an early move out with just 5 of the Marines darting across the map.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Zerg can definitely ramp up faster than Terran, so this little bit of pressure, whether it's real or not, is something that even like pros like Maru like to do, where they just push out with Marines with no intent to attack. Just like,
Yeah,
please don't make drones. Like if I can force out you build like a handful of links, then this push has already done its intended purpose.
yeah, it's really nice that Avocados is going for this. 3 queens is more than enough to defend, or it should be. And I really like this, the fact that the Marines actually turn around when they realize it's not going to work out.
Yeah, I like that the injured queen pulled back as well. There was no transfuse energy, so keeping the 2 high hit point queens attacking while one backs up is a nice way to prevent yourself from losing a queen there. But Avocados will join up with his reinforcements. Stim is about 80% of the way done, so by the time he arrives there, he should have just about have it ready.
We'll see if it's a good stim bot or a not good stim bot, as stim can definitely be a double-edged sword when it comes to bots, as they can always overstim themselves to death. This is quite nice though. This is like I don't know, 12, 14 Marines pushing into cannon on as natural before the roaches pop out.
Yeah, and we've seen this out of Canyon too. He doesn't believe he has the army to deal with it, so he's keeping everything pulled back.
Yeah, lots of
Nice
drones being
scan.
killed.
Yeah, getting all the drones.
Another
with the
one,
scans is very
too.
Nice.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that was like probably like at least 10 drones that died there. So Canonana's economy just had a massive setback. Avocados now again is turning around, which is really nice to see that it's not just basically abandoning those units and it's trying to group up a little bit more. Nice scan again to force that roach to unburrow. Not a great trade though for the Terran bot. Avocados just pumping out Marines though, 7 at a time.
Yeah, and he's got a great economy behind this. He has +1 on the way. Combat shield is almost done now. Getting a little overstimmed on the front line here. Does not have a scan active to deal with these roaches, but
The Marines frantically trying to force the roaches underground before they get killed. And looks like, yeah, that attack doesn't work out for Avocados. It did get massive damage done already, though. Cannonana is only on 28 drones. It does have 3 bases, but this is what should be considered a great position for the Blue Terran bot. We'll see if Cannonana can play it out, get to that late game, use the roaches to get some efficiency. It's got tunneling claws on the way now, which is definitely going to help those roaches survive a little bit more. But yeah, Avocados with a nice supply lead 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah. Nice macro on Avocado's side too. I do notice that he's able to distance mine with any extra SCVs he has. So he'll be fully saturated when that command center finishes, but in the meantime, he's distance mining, and little things like that help a lot, especially when you killed so many drones. Just to keep your economy maxed out. Because it will get to the point where a ton of stim marines are going to give roaches problems, even if there is no detection for them.
Yeah, just the big pool of bio is pretty darn powerful. Just to take a quick step back from the game, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't already, click that like button. Let's get a like for every Marine that Avocados is running across the map with right now. And follow the channel on Twitch too, if you haven't already.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go for a like for every time the stim button is pressed. Break a YouTube record.
Okay, Marines stimming forward, just charging in. Cannonana unable to burrow some of the roaches in time, then a scan to secure kills on other ones. Avocados is just getting lots of damage done. Nice sort of retreat on the roaches by Cannonana, wasting a lot of the Marines' time. We even get some queens running the opposite way, which is definitely nice as it is buying time. Cannonon is making a significant amount of roaches, 10 at a time, and the bio may run out of steam at some point as these stims do compound.
Yeah, but he is killing roaches here. Queen's going down is a big deal as well. And I even like that he focus fires like creep tumors in the middle of the fight. Which I actually found, you wouldn't think so, but even in the middle of the fight, I still think creep tumors is the highest priority target from what I've seen with my bot at least.
Yeah, that makes sense because like they die so quickly too, so it's not really
it's a small investment, and it's a big deal as the game goes on.
Okay, Cannonana does hold on, so nicely done by the Zerg. It wasn't like a perfect trade or anything like that. Still, I think it's considered good for Cannonana as it is the bot with the superior late game. I think we can confidently say. So...
Yeah, but like, it's not like Avocados is all in or something. Avocados has a 20 worker lead. He's continuing to expand. So I feel like even trades are just helping Avocados, if anything. Obviously, the late game is where Kainata excels, but at the moment in time, it does look like, equal trades is helping Avocados here. I feel like each follow-up fight should get even better and better. Especially if he's making more orbitals, then he's just going to have so many more scans, and this bro is going to be less and less effective.
Okay, this fight didn't go that well, as Avocados, I think, didn't have all its supply with the army. So that one didn't go too nice.
With burrow move on the roaches as well, it's very hard for him to actually finish off the kills even with the scans. Yeah, I don't think he killed a single roach actually on that series of attacks. So that was very nice for Kainana. Sell 15 Marines at a time, more barracks going down.
15 Marines, 15 barracks, no reactors. I like
he's
that.
surviving, I believe, on one gas geyser. So
yeah, and that's
one
all
gas
going
is enough
towards
to like
upgrades.
continue his upgrades, and
like, okay, so there is a bit of a window that Avocados does need to make happen because Cannonana will be getting out infestors at some point. And once those are out, things can get really, really bad.
Yeah, I think Avocados might be struggling with something my bot has struggled with Kaninana, and that is he tries to kill these overseers. Yeah. There's always poking around, and that's keeping like portions of his army at home, trying to deal with them, but he can't deal with them because they're faster than Marines.
Yeah, we'll see if there's like an override maybe or something. If Avocados hits like 200 supply, it is slowly getting out on the map, and it's got about 200 supply of 1/1 bio. So the time is now. A large pack of Marines runs ahead of the rest of them. There comes the rest. A scan goes down. Mass Marines versus Roaches. The Marines are being so aggressive. Kananana is able to just pull back the injured units quite nicely, use transfuses, split up the damage, and yeah, the Overseers really prevented this attack from being as grouped as it should have been.
Yeah, nothing terrible with the micro of avocados there, but just like the burrow movements and the roach speed combination means those roaches just aren't dying, even with the scans. You get one or two like here and there, but he's losing his entire bio army to try to do so.
Yeah, it's also +2 armor for Kananana against, I believe, +1 attack still for Avocados. It might have just finished up +2, but yeah, there was an upgrade gap for a moment there. So we'll see. Avocados just pumping out more Marines, but Kananana is just about maxed out. I'm really surprised we haven't seen any Infestors yet, as they would do wonderful here, but Kananana's just making do with mass roaches and queens, and it's not doing too bad.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a spire on the way. I'm not sure what that is for, but looks like there's some sort of tech switch starting for Kananana.
Oh my gosh. Avocados is so aggressive with its Marines, arguably more aggressive than they should be, as I think they kind of gave maximum fire time to those roaches by running so far forward.
Yeah, I mean, technically Marines outrange roaches, so you should probably be cutting backwards and not stimming forwards. But then, of course, if you're cutting backwards, you're not going to be able to secure kills against the burrowed roaches. So.
Yeah, it's a really difficult situation for the Terran, and it's tough to find that middle ground. Avocados still fighting the good fight. Lots of Marines being produced, 20 at a time, to try and hold back the tide of Zerg. Kananana is just doing really well with the mass roach at this point, though. It's getting +2 attack. It's got +3 armor on the way. The damage for the Terran is just not there to kill enough of these roaches.
Yeah, got a few kills there, but yeah. There's been large engagements where no roaches have died, and that's really, really bad for Avocados. Roaches are now encroaching on his side of the map, and now it might be time for Kananana to start disrupting the economy of Avocados.
This is a pretty good fight defensively, as Avocados does send a lot of roaches back. The stim is really hurting, though, without any medivacs. The scans have honestly got to have really hurt its economy, too. Like, it's been dropping scan after scan. That's a lot of resources lost. And we'll see. But I think Kananana may have this one.
Yeah, each scan is a potential mule, so it's like kind of like losing 225 mule or 225 minerals, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
4.5 Marines for a scan. It's not a way to look at it. But at the same time, if it's securing kills, then it's definitely worth it. But the question
Yeah,
is,
well,
is
you
it
don't really
securing
have a
kills?
choice as the Terran unless you build a Raven, so.
Well, you never know. Like, if you get an overwhelming army size, then the burrow isn't really a big deal. You know, you'll secure kills as they're burrowing, or you'll just force them all to burrow and overrun the rest of their bases. But that only works if you're actually way ahead in army supply. This
Yeah.
looks like the beginning of the end, though. Kananana is starting to push his way in.
Yeah, good attempt by Avocados in game number 1, but this is a best of 3 unless I'm mistaken, so Avocados is not out of it yet. It's got a chance to come back.
Yeah. And a lot of things I like in Avocados there. Like, honestly, I don't really have any criticism of this bot except for, you know, you just need more features in the future, right? You know, if there were Marauders, if there was Medivacs, you know. But for what he has in this bot, I think he performs pretty well.
Yeah, really nicely done there by Kananana, and yeah. But God knows how many Marines died in there. I think I think we need to get a count on the next one. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing he was definitely able to kill was drones. So if he could just like get in deep, like maybe twice in the game, like the first one was nice, it gave him a nice lead, and then his follow-up army was larger. But then Kainana just slowly picked away at him, especially when Roach movement kicked in.
Yeah.
Or Bro Roach movement, I should say.
yeah, getting kills on those borrowed roaches when they're moving around is really hard.
Yeah. I think it increases their health regen rate as well from like 7 per second up to something else, 11 or something like
That
whatever it is. It heals faster than the medevac heals, so
that's just
it's pretty
disgusting.
good. Yeah, it's like each roach has its own built-in medevac, but it only works when they're burrowed.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at game number 2. All right, and we are good to go.
All right, up 1-0. We have the red Zerg Caninana spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, and cross spawn down the bottom left. We have the blue Terran Avocados yet again. Dishonorable offensive strategies. I don't know. There's pretty good honor in that last one, I think. He's coded honor into this bot of recent times. He probably started as like I guess like a 4 racks all in bot or something like that.
Yeah, the author does have a roadmap on their profile too. So apparently December 2025 was combat shield stim infantry upgrades, and they are planning Marauders, Medivacs, Tanks, Vikings, and Ghosts throughout 2026, which is
Yeah, there you go.
cool to see.
Yeah, I love the Marauder production to be maybe not static, but based on the army composition. So hopefully they have something for that. Like roaches, get as many as Marauders as you can, but then things that Marines excel against, try not to build Marauders.
Yeah, Marauders really are something that is nice to mix in and are one of the units that bots can just do really well with thanks to their
Yeah.
high range, which is something I didn't really think about for a long time till someone pointed it out. And
There is the unexplored ability of bots to use concussive shell as well. I was thinking about that in the past. Is like, for instance, versus Bailings, you could like individually have one Marauder targeting each Bailing and keep all the Bailings moving slowly so they never reach the Marines. Like something
yeah,
along those lines. Something that a human could never actually do. A bot could split up the concussive shell to like slow down everything.
okay, so we do have a different opening from Avocados. It's going right for the 3 racks instead of the command center in this game, which is cool to see that the author does have multiple builds baked in.
Yep. This is the probably build 1, the dishonorable build. There is a nice spotter by Caninano though, so he does know he's up against a no expansion Terran, and I know he has responses to something like that. Sterling does make his way in as well. Let's see how much of a vision he can get. He's probably seen 2 racks at this point, but might get cut off before he can see the 3rd. Yeah, so I don't think he saw the racks in this. Well, no, he probably saw the 3 actually. When he came up the ramp, he probably saw that one. Yeah, so all 3
I
racks
think
are
so.
scouted. Yeah.
Now, Cannon on his cheese response is really interesting because, like, it is going for spines this game, whereas it didn't in the previous game.
Mm-hmm.
And the spines can sometimes seem a little bad for Cannonana, depending how they operate, like whether they'll get down to the natural or not. Losing this Overlord is really painful for
Yeah.
Cannonana.
Yeah, we've seen issues in the past where Caninana's decision of when to engage or not doesn't take into account whether the spine crawlers exist. So sometimes he'll just hold back, let the spine crawlers die, and then engage later. It would be nice if he had some sort of calculation that included the spine crawlers in the defense. And actually, the Marines are going to arrive before the spine crawlers even are down. But not enough Marines to do any real damage.
Cannonana does reposition the spines to a nice location on top of that ramp. So Avocados does go home, and we'll see whether the Zerg can hold that like ramp. If the fight's on top of that ramp, it'll probably be pretty good for Cannonana. However, if Cannonana like tries to get a 3rd up and defend that, it might go a little bad. It looks like Avocados is going to try and break this.
Well, it could be bad if he doesn't get a 3rd as well, because Avocados is expanding behind this, and if Caninana overreacts and just doesn't build a drone again, we've seen that as well with bots. That could end up putting him behind. With roaches on the field, though, he's got to feel pretty safe at this point. Even burrow is complete.
Yeah, that's part of the reason too why like I think the spines are a little bit questionable, just because Cannonana like already cuts eco at the start of the game harder than most spots, and 2 drones into 2 spines is like a big chunk of its economy. As we see,
Yeah.
Cannonana still only on 19 drones. It has been producing lots of roaches just to secure the defense, which is good. And it's nice that it is going into those drones now.
Yeah. So he did overreact, but the overreaction looks like it's done. So that's good news at least.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is that's Cannonana having that nice sort of dynamic I guess production manager, whether to build drones or roaches depending on what it sees. That's why it's always scouting, sending out a ling like clockwork just to keep that information updated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's become a little bit more advanced, but it used to literally be clockwork. It used to be like every 20 seconds, a Zergling would arrive at your base and die. That's what it was like
Yeah.
placing Canyonana back in the day. That was a little bit more structured. Third hatchery will be going down at the 12 o'clock position for Canyonana there. Meanwhile, some Marines are heading across the map, and if they actually know about that, or if they try to check that third, it might be a nice time to get a nice hatchery snipe.
Yeah, we'll see if Cannonana tries to fight by the spines or not. It is going up that ramp, which is really, really nice. There's the scan from Avocados. A lot of damage can be done by these Stim Marines. They're not just Stim as well. They have combat shields, so they're going to be a lot more strong and survive a lot longer. We see that nice scan to pick off drones once more. So Cannonana loses a spine, loses a bunch of drones, then Avocados just leaves.
Yeah, once again, the army abandoning the spine crawlers, but Avocados actually helped him out by not attacking the spine crawlers and diving in deep. That did allow him to kill a bunch of drones, which
Shift
is nice.
L, please, Crypt, just to see how many drones died there. 15 drones have died this game. Wow. As we see, we've got a pretty similar situation to last game. Cannonana on a ridiculously low eco and just going to have to try and survive.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did it in game one, so you might actually be in a slightly better position than game one. And I don't know Zerg upgrades, but I'm going to guess that last one is the Roach Burrow movement. So once that one completed last game, that's when it got really deadly for Avocados, where you do like full-on engagements and not kill a single Roach. So I'd like to see Avocados like going up and do one more big attack before that's upgrade. Well, never mind, it's already done. Okay.
Yeah. So now it kind of wants to sit and wait for a moment to really hit that critical mass. So hopefully it does that. A few random Marines out on the map. I don't know what they were doing. Just 3 out there.
Yeah, I guess if I did have one critique, it would be that those Marines do seem to get separated sometimes. It'd be nice to like group them up a little bit more. You said I have a pack of Marines retreating while another pack of Marines is attacking. It's like they need the high mind consciousness.
It'll be curious
minds to the turn.
If after this game the author just programs in and ignores Overseers completely after this, because Cannonana is sending some of those Marines back. But
yeah, I literally did that exact thing with my bot. I got screwed by it, and then I made my bot just ignore Overseers. So if you got a Viking, peel it off, but never send my army to kill an Overseer.
Yeah. Yeah, because like we do sometimes see bots farming Cannonon as Overseers, which is really good, but then other times they do just kind of break the opponent. Hatchery gets canceled, 2 drones go down. Cannonana is fighting, but, well, retreating, baiting out lots of stims. A queen goes down, a second queen perishes. Avocados is pivoting towards the natural, and if it just runs in here, this could cause a lot of problems. The Terran bot is turning around to secure a kill on that queen. There we go. Scan gets dropped as the bio charges forward.
Yeah, it's able to kill some roaches here. I'm not sure where the army is for Cannonana, or if he even has an army, but just a sparse amount of roaches is no problem for this many Marines, and Cannonana will end up losing his third, I believe.
Yeah, does Avocados finish it? It does, which is nice to see. The bio is starting to thin out. This was a lot of damage that got done, though.
Yeah, and he's just overwhelming army size means he's actually able to secure roach kills. And
So
we've seen in the
scans
past when there's too many
dropped.
roaches, he can't get to them, and this time he can.
Yeah, queens have pretty much all died as well, so Avocados, just by opening up a bit more aggressively, was maybe able to set Cannonana back a little bit further, or just, who knows, maybe it was the map that really played into that. It's difficult to say.
Maybe it was that overreaction of too many units and not enough drones early on, but for some reason, Kainana just didn't have a follow-up army. It was just a sparse amount of roaches, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, the drone losses and then the early overreaction. Like, it's difficult to say what Kananana should like tweak in this situation, because like there are situations where you want like spine crawlers against mass marine rushes, but they just don't carry value like a burrowed roach does in the late game. So it's like, what should Kananana do?
Also doesn't have the upgrade advantage like in the game one either.
Yeah,
And that's actually might be one of the bigger deals as well, why these roaches are getting sniped.
yeah. I think a difference might have been because of the earlier racks. Avocados had I think it had combat shield in like the second sort of engagement, whereas it didn't in game number one, and
Yeah,
that
that
makes a
helps too.
big difference with mass marines.
Yeah. I love combat shield with bots because there's no decision making involved, and decision making is often where bots fall apart. But you
Yeah,
can never go wrong. Like plus 10 hit points, that's never a bad thing, and you can't screw that up. You know, plus 10 is plus 10.
really nice engagement by Avocados, just showing us that being aggressive can work out pretty well. It does lose these marines, I think, at the end, but Kananana's it's trying to rebuild a third base and get up an infestation pit, but it's 29 supply against 77.
Yeah, and he's still grabbing roach kills here and there. So he's yeah.
Yeah.
Without the roaches to support the ones that are retreating, the retreating ones die, and since the retreating ones die, he never gets the roach count he needs.
There's that nice drone targeting too. Avocados loves to
Yeah.
secure those kills with the scans, and the natural hatchery is going to die. So we're going to have a 1-1 series, which is really nice.
Nothing makes a mineral line disappear faster than a bot with stim focus firing down workers. It's insane. It doesn't look real. It looks like there's something wrong with the game when you watch
they
it.
just
Like,
disappear.
because when you like A move with like as a human, like you're probably stutter stepping, so all your marines are shooting at the same time, so they're overkilling workers. That just doesn't happen with bots. Each worker or each marines doing their own individual fire, then just like makes the mineral line just disappear instantly. Yes, let's find the last structure, and that's it. The series is tied up, 1-1.
Yeah, nice one. Nice one to Avocados there, taking us into a ace match on the series. Which should
Yeah,
be a
loser of
fun
this
one.
game will go home, or it's thrown into the junk pile. That's it for that bot. So
Yep.
do or die game for both of them now.
Yep.
Yeah, the stakes are high in this one. I'm really one thing I do want to say about avocados that I really like is just like we get like very linear cheese bots, but I just love that it has the sort of macro follow up to its cheese, like that it keeps expanding, keeps getting upgrades. It's I think great design.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely one of the more impressive new bots we've seen on the ladder. So, all right.
Yeah, and it looked like this design of the build was always to expand as well. So
Yeah.
in TVZ, there almost is no variant of cheese, right? Like if you're greedy, then the Zerg is greedy, but if you're aggressive, then you keep the Zerg from being greedy. So either way, it kind of balances out. So in this case, the balance definitely favored avocados. You know, the overreaction to defense from Caninana helped him, and like you said, the early upgrades also helped him. So very nicely done.
All right. Let's have a look at game number 3. So,
Okay, spawning up in the top left-hand position, it is once again Caninana. This is on pylon here, so down the bottom right we have the blue Terran avocados. I would assume he's probably going to go with the build that worked. I guess that's his two builds, and he probably has some sort of decision making. But who knows?
Yeah,
Sometimes it's like random selection or
yeah. We do
flip back
hope
and
that
forth.
the author did think to implement that. Um,
Honestly, though, if you're facing someone like Zozo, just randomly select your builds because Zozo's like one of those authors who he'll always be a step ahead of
Yeah.
you. He'll be like, okay, if you lost with this one, you'll probably switch to this build, so I will counter that build that I think you're going to use. It's like you don't want to get in that war with Zozo's author. He's too good at it.
Yeah, I really respect what they do. And it looks like Avocados is not going for the CC first, so selecting the winning build once again, which is nice to see.
Yep, 2 racks into a refinery, so that does mean he won't have the immediate tech lab, I guess. Um, yeah, maybe you could streamline that build order a little bit better. I guess it depends how much you want to prioritize early Marines versus early upgrades.
Yeah, we'll see if it gets the Overlord again because that was quite a big deal in game number 2 as well.
Yeah.
Like losing your 36 supply Overlord is quite painful for Zerg.
Yeah,
I
if you
always
do open
really
with
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, if you do open with Marines in this matchup rather than Reaper, it is nice to just kind of randomly send them out on the map because you never know when you'll find an Overlord. Because Zergs always expect like Overlords will never be challenged at the start of the game, and if you open Marines, you can actually challenge them and catch them off guard. And killing an early Overlord is like devastating to a Zerg player.
Yeah, I always really liked how your bot would float off the racks and go for the Overlords pretty aggressively.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can get baited by that too, though. That is the scary thing with moving out with Marines is like you don't know how many Zerglings exist on the map. There could be 2, there
Yeah.
could be 24, and throwing away all your Marines is something you always have to risk when you move out like that.
Okay, we do have that Marine move out. Are they going to catch the Overlord? This could be like a game deciding moment, and so far it looks like they're hot on its heels. Cannonana is kind of going over some dead space, but I think it's probably dead.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Oh
what?
no, avocados. Okay, it turns around.
Interesting decisions there. I'd love to see the code on who might have made that choice, but
Yeah, so
give
this
it
is
false
actually a
hope.
really nasty supply block as Cannonana like didn't have another Overlord building, so it's just not been able to produce really anything. It's building 3 spine crawlers actually, since it can't build anything else, which I honestly really like. One of them immediately gets canceled, and
Yeah.
the Marines are poking forward, but looks like the spine crawler wall will get up. Cannonana even wants to build a 3rd spine crawler again.
Yeah. And even without the spines, like a handful of Marines is not that scary. It's something Queens can handle easily. They're 0-0. They don't have stim.
Yeah.
But I do like that push out. If capturing the Overlord alone already made it a win, and then forcing out all these spines made it a win, and now will there be an overreaction? We see 4 roaches and only 1 drone being built at this moment in time, and that seems like an overreaction again to me.
Yeah, I think it's not too good. There's that nice long distance mining you pointed out previously too. Just bringing in as much value as possible.
Yeah, still watching that production tab for Zerg. I'm waiting to see if there's going to be drones showing up there. We got an Overlord and
Okay,
now
there we
into
go.
drones. Okay, so it wasn't quite as bad as the last game. I think it helped that his Zergling scouts spotted the command center at the natural. But yeah, that still was a heavy dedication of spine crawlers and roaches.
Yeah, like 3 spine crawlers. That could be 9 drones.
Yeah. I mean, and those spines will have use as the game goes on, but so much of it of Zerg early game is the importance of ordering things, right? Building army
Yeah.
than building drones is so much different than building drones than building army. Um, but the drone key is being held down now. Odd roach here and there being added in, but yeah, good transition out of Kainana at this point.
I do
Meanwhile,
like
we
how
do.
Avocados is sitting back waiting for that combat shield, it seems, too.
Yeah, yeah, like deciding your timing based on upgrades completing is something I guess we should probably do a little bit more in the bot meta. We don't, but it's a good way to do it. Kind of arriving at someone's base as combat shield finishes is an awesome way to attack. And whether it's planned or not, that is what's going to happen. But he is attacking into 3 spines, so I don't expect this fight will go too well.
Yeah, that went quite poorly.
Yeah, all the queens and roaches waiting for him as well, and no scan to deal with the roaches he did injure. So
It is really, really nice how Avocados retreats, though. Like, so many bots would just lose all those Marines. Instead, it loses a few and then turns around.
yeah, for the most part, that's good. If you're already stimmed, it's a little bit more questionable because you don't want to waste a stim at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that fight was going nowhere, so that was definitely the correct decision to retreat in that moment.
Okay, we've got 8 Marines being produced at a time. Cannonana has got its third base up. It's pumping the drones pretty heavily. Like, I think that second attack is the one that kind of got damage done for or maybe it was like this next attack will be the one that got damage done in the previous game. It's difficult to say. Avocados is trying to move out, or should be. There it goes.
Yeah, this time it's 3 spines instead of 2 as well. And I know avocados that both in game 1 and game 2, you got on top of the natural mineral line, and this time the natural is a much more defended. So
Yeah,
we'll see. But it does seem like he's pathing towards the third, which will give him a lot better success.
good
Yeah,
stim
yeah.
behavior there. Like, stimming after a Zergling, just like a few Marines, is something that's really important too. And oh no, the bio pivots. I thought it was going for that third base. Roaches show themselves and do bait the Marines forward. Even baiting out a stim already is quite huge for Cannonana. A scan gets dropped already. The bio is going to try and crash the natural. Cannonana is doing its retreat thing though, but then it kind of leashes some of the Marines towards the third momentarily. This is so scrappy.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, Kainana, I believe, pulled the Marines in the wrong direction. So not only is he losing his natural right now, but I believe his third base lost a whole bunch of drones as well.
Yeah, and the losses have been huge for Cannonana. The Marine count is still quite high. Reinforcements have come in. The fourth is gone. There's going to be a fight at the third as the bio is really starting to wear thin, but so much damage has already been dealt. And looks like that third base will go down, so Cannonana is on 1 base.
Yeah, I believe Kainana had no upgrades as well, and he was facing +1 combat shield stim Marines with the economic advantage. It was just such a good spot for Avocados, and the Queens just pulled his army apart in a beneficial way. I was talking about you want to keep your army together, but in this case, he just split up and destroyed both mineral lines instantly.
These Marines are so red. I'm not sure it matters at this point in the game, though, as they're even still killing off roaches before they get picked off one by one. As Avocados has got that nice production. It looks like there is no third from the Terran yet. I think that might be blocked by a Zergling, actually. So Avocados' economy isn't as good as it was in the previous game, and maybe that could be something that could be exploited in the future if it's unable to clear a burrowed Zergling or something, but it doesn't matter in this game.
Maybe that unintentionally helped him. Maybe that got him an extra like 5-10 Marines in the fight and helped him overwhelm. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Okay.
Yeah, this is the question of waiting on the scans, I guess. Although he might end up just eliminating him.
Yeah,
that's gonna burn
that
down.
spawning pool is gonna die.
Let it burn. And it
GG.
does.
Burn it all down. There we go. Yeah, well played for Avocados there. Makes it through into the next round. That's going to be fun.
Back there.
Yeah, definitely one to watch. And definitely will be one not many players want to face, I guess. But
yeah, we're in an era of bots where Canyonana gets knocked out of a tournament 0-3. So
yeah, I mean
losing
that's
all 3
crazy.
rounds, that's crazy.
Yeah, like it's such a good bot, such a well-made bot, and it shows you the quality of the bots and the authors we have in this tournament. That going 0-3, that's crazy.
All right, so next up we have the rematch from last week, I guess, that ended in a draw. We have Wicked Bot and Anibot.
Yeah, let's have a quick look. Anibot seeded at 8th with a win over GPT and losing to Eris in the last round. No shame in that.
Yeah, these are two of my favorite bots. Anybot's just really fun to watch. Really pulls out like the weird mech stuff and ghosts and nukes and all that jazz. And Wicked Bot, it just feels like really refreshing. It's nice to see a bot on the ladder who just doesn't look like other bots. He like has a unique medevac micro, very unique attacking style, and really cool bio and drops.
Yeah, no, and last week we saw a really fun close game between the two. Hopefully this week we'll see another fun game, but it will be less close because it will be because it was so close it was a draw.
Yeah, I can't remember it exactly, but it felt like the draw a draw was appropriate. It felt like, if I remember correctly, if Wikibot had the opportunity to win and just wasn't aggressive enough, and then Anibot took over the game and was going to win himself, but then he just bugged out and wouldn't decided not to. So both bots had the opportunity to win. Neither of them actually did. And
Yeah,
Yeah, Anibot had that building placement issue in which it had like all those units caught too.
yeah, that's an issue
Which
as well.
we'll see
And
if
honestly, that
Wickedbot
could
gets
repeat
lucky like
itself.
that
So
again.
all right.
yeah,
Let's take a look at it.
that's right. I got it reversed. It was Anibot who was looking really good, and then and then Wikibot almost took over. All right. Anyway, so spawning in the top left of Meganatha, we have the red Terran. It is Anibot with 95% confidence. Interesting. Meanwhile, down in the bottom right, we have the blue Terran. It is Wickedbot. Somewhat
Anibot's
new.
confidence is always really funny because it's either like 5% or 95%. It's very rarely in between.
That's funny. It's actually surprising how many matchups there are on the ladder where it could go either way. You would think
Yeah,
with bots being very similar that like, okay, I either win 100% of the time versus this guy, or I lose zero, or I win 0%. But there's actually a lot of matchups you end up with like being around 50-50. It all depends, like little tweaks in the map or just different decisions made during the game can really change the outcome of the game, even if you're both playing the exact same strategies.
I agree. Yeah, and that's yeah, it makes it quite entertaining to watch the bot games instead of, yeah, if they were the same all the time, it would be pretty boring. But even when it is like repeat builds, like it is fun to compare and contrast, just like that best of three we had, like very similar games, but just the little differences make all the change in the world.
Yeah, like even in Pro Bots, when we first switched to the finals being best of seven, it's like, okay, so basically it's just a choice of which bot is going to 4-0 the other bot. But we've
Yeah.
actually had a lot of game sevens in the Pro Bot tournaments, so it's yeah, it makes it really entertaining. Meanwhile, we do have a 2-Rax opener out of Wikibot. He likes that 2-Rax expand. It gives him a good solid clump of bio while he's actually not falling too far behind economically. Anibot, however, is not expanding himself and going more of the tech route as he goes for both a reactor and a factory, and both on one gas. Couple Reapers out for Wikibot. We've seen them do very well in the past versus Zerg. See
Yeah,
how they
this
do
could be
versus Terran.
nice as Antibot does just have that one Marine at its natural, and Wickedbot could very well kill that. Nice grenade bounce, kills the Marine, and if it can get this SCV, that would be really big.
Yeah, very well done. I'd like to
This
see
is
if,
this is a different map than they first played on, I believe, right?
yeah, because Emeranibot was spawned in the top right. That's where he got those units stuck, if I recall correctly. And
Yeah,
yeah, these
holy
Reapers are
smokes.
a big problem. We do have something coming out of the Hellion coming out. That will help, especially if it gets some repairs, but I'm not sure
Oh,
if that's
the
something that's built
grenades.
into it.
Wickedbot's Reapers are really impressive. I believe there's one at the natural too, still causing problems, as the two in the main are not contested. That Reaper
Ooh.
actually kills the Hellion. Does this Reaper avoid the Widow Mine? No, it doesn't. But still, this has been huge damage.
Yeah, there's 2 SCVs assigned to repair the Hellion, but the SCVs were scared of getting in range of the Reapers, so they're staying too far away and not getting any repair done. With the second Hellion out though, and the Widowmine kill, that will finish off the 3 Reapers, but not after a ton of damage was done. 6 SCVs down,
Yeah.
nice delay on the natural.
Anibot was able to get it started. Like, there definitely was a delay there. Like, I think it did get an SCV like down there once the Reapers got into the main though. So it does have this quicker natural base to try and catch up. Wickedbot is building its command center inside the main base and floating
Yeah,
it down. But look
but
at that,
not
a
really.
third's already done.
Yeah, and the second's not really behind. Like it's landing a few seconds later, but it's already in orbital. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would consider them maybe ahead. And
I agree, seeing that it's an orbital. So that doesn't look too nice for Anibot.
yeah, but Anibot did do a decent job of keeping the SCVs alive that were being targeted. He recovered quickly. He repaired everything up. I don't think Anibot's in a dire state at all. Probably just a minor advantage for Wickedbot in those openers. This might be where it gets worse with the third command center already in orbital and getting ready to land. Yeah, just a nice macro follow up of Wickedbot, and this could get out of hand quickly. We'll have to see. Anibot usually has nice defensive standing stances as well, though, so there's definitely a possibility that a bunch of Marines might like pile into Widow Mines and tanks and get absolutely obliterated and throw away the lead that Wickedbot has right now. But at the moment, it's looking great for Wickedbot, and yeah, he's a solid macrobot. He'll keep expanding and keep that economic lead going.
Yeah, that is a really nicely timed third base. Then there's that. Then there's those bunkers going up immediately. The Marauders are starting to be added into the composition. I'm curious, what's the tank count for Anibot right now? Because the bio is getting to that level in which I think we'll need to see some tanks pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, Hellions, especially with Blue Flame and Widow Mines, can both have success versus Marines. So I don't know what it'll look like, especially with bots, but I would imagine that Hellion Widow Mine could do okay versus Marines.
Yeah, I think we saw last time that the bio maybe like didn't like fight the Hellions as nicely as it should. Oh, there was a pathing issue if I recall, like with the high ground, and Wickedbot donated a lot of Marines, which kind of allowed Antibot to come back in the mid game. So we'll see whether Wickedbot takes like a nice fight. It's one of those difficult things you have to decide as an author. Like if you want to focus on drops, that's good, but there definitely is times where it's better just to almost like F2A move with your entire army. So we'll see if Wickedbot goes for a drop or tries to break the front, which it very well may be able to do.
Yeah. It does look like he's heading towards that third base, and that is looking a little bit vulnerable right now. Widow Mines are not in position to defend that third. I guess he won't move them there until the base is actually done. There is a good amount of Hellions, but yeah, Marauders are certainly something. Oh, and the tank on its own.
Oh,
Yikes.
that's really bad. Antibot's sending the Hellions down, but this is just coming into a perfect fight basically for Wickedbot. Like it's delaying the third. It's getting a nice skirmish with the Hellions. Really nice pullback behavior on the Hellions from Antibot to send them home to get repaired.
Yeah,
And
that's gonna
now
take a long
they're
time.
transforming into Hellbats to be healed by Antibot's Medivac.
Yeah, I've seen this in the past. He actually uses the Medivac as the repair bay. It's pretty nice. Unfortunately, though, one Medivac with like 17 injured Hellions is going to take a while to repair back to full. But I think that was just a cancel, right? So not the end of the world for anybody. He does have an alternate third base coming up right now. And now we got
Yeah.
some drop play out of Wickedbot. And with that
Okay.
forward third gun, this drop will be able to find its way into the main base and might be able to pull Anibot apart. Hellions are
Yeah.
fast units, though, so they're pretty good at responding to attacks you don't expect.
Okay, so the drop is going into that main base as Antibot tries to rebuild its third in another location. Hellion does immediately come to the main. There's also that blue flame, so the Marines will be softened up much easier. Liberator sieging up to try and help too. But we can see just how oversaturated in the main Antibot is because that third base isn't up. Marines
Not the best place
unloading
to drop Marines.
on the cliff there. It looks like there is another drop at the new third base of Antibot, which is getting some really good damage done, I think. As, yeah, there's the Bio Squad picking off a tank. Preventing SCVs from saturating that third base is causing a lot of loss mining. Now the Natural's not mining either. Wickedbot does load up, then unload in Wickedbot fashion as it continues to pressure its opponent. Looks like reinforcements are coming in too, as Wickedbot has had a really nice opening and got some good follow-up damage with it too.
Yeah, but pretty good army retention out of Antibot, so he does still have the army sides despite his economy not really ramping up the way he wants it to. Siege tanks and liberators are actually being handy here as well. I would love to see those cyclones actually start locking on. It doesn't look like they consider the medevac or the marine worth locking onto. Okay, there's one.
Oh, nice kill on a full medivac. So that really hurts Wickedbot. While this has been going on, Wickedbot has been doing a great job of securing expansions. It's got I think it's 4 orbitals fully saturated and mining with a 5th base landing. It's got a 6th base building as well, 2 upgrades on the way. So Wickedbot has an economic lead, but it will need to address that army and the nice army retention that Antibot has, as you pointed out.
Yeah, we focus a lot on the micro of Wickedbot, but his macro it's solid. He's always expanding, he's always upgrading, and he can defend well as well. The way he uses those bunkers is really cool, the way that a bot only can. Medevac's heading into the main base yet again, though. He will get intercepted by some liberators and popping out these marines into liberation circles. Not advised.
No, that's not ideal. And we're seeing just like this is true in human games and bot games. If you just go for like one drop or one attack, it's not going to cause problems for your opponent because they'll just respond, as we see Antibot doing. It's when you get like 2 drops or more going on at a time that you really get value. So I'd really like to see that from Wickedbot. And it is trying to go for a drop, but Antibot actually made its 3rd a planetary. So that's quite nice. Does Wickedbot just go in and kill a bunch of SCVs? No, it's actually engaging the planetary, which isn't great.
Yeah, oh, maybe get a liberator here. Nope. Had his opportunity, but decided to hop back in.
And yeah, the macro of these 2 bots is really quite something. Antibot, despite all the damage it's taken, has been able to max out. Wickedbot's got more bases, but now we're at a point in which it's going to be army versus army, which is usually what the mech player wants, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe being on the defense will help Wickedbot a little bit. It'll allow his drops that maybe he get unchallenged, and he can use those bunkers on defense. But
looks like there is a drop in the main going off.
Yeah.
Liberator is sieged up, but it gets killed. This could be nice, as Wickedbot may just be able to pull Antibot's army back. A tank is sieged up, though, so that's quite good for trying to thin out this drop. It does get dealt with. The Medivacs have been healing up the bio, which is 2-2 as well, so the Marines aren't super easy to clean up. Antibot does have to pull back its entire army to respond to this, so that definitely takes some of the danger away from Wickedbot's situation.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about, how it's being on the defense might be better, because when Antibot's army is across the map, he can't defend those drops quite as easily.
Okay, so the drop was repelled. Antibot's on 4 bases. It's building a sneaky 5th in the bottom left. Wickedbot is still just kind of dropping around, but it has constructed like a really nice Viking fleet, and we'll see whether it's going to bring those to bear here, as it's been quite passive with them. But there we go. Liberators are in trouble now, as Antibot loses a few of those.
Yeah, 3-3 upgrade's about to finish for Wickedbot, and that'll be about as strong as he's going to get. The Flame Hellions, though, around a corner is really nice. He's getting some nice line shots on those Marines, and those Marines are just getting shredded.
Tanks in the line of sight blockers.
Yeah.
Antibot's also got fewer workers than Wickedbot by like 30 almost. So the army supply is definitely in favor of Antibot. Antibot is about to have 2-2, so the upgrade lead won't be ginormous. And this is just mech versus bio, where the bio kind of just bounces off. So I'm kind of scratching my head here for Wickedbot.
Yeah, and anybody was able to sneak the gold base down the corner as well. I'm not sure if it's a gold base or not. I think it is, but it's an important base that Wickedbot has
Yeah.
no idea that even exists.
Oh man, that is quite unfortunate that Wickedbot hasn't been able to contain Antibot. So we'll see whether Wickedbot can do something. But like, we're just seeing like 2 medivacs at a time. Where's the 117 supply of Wickedbot? Like, it's got a tiny army that's fighting right now. How much supply does it have caught up just in Vikings or something like that? Can we get a unit count maybe just to see how many Vikings? So 16 Vikings, that's quite a bit of supply. 9 medivacs. It doesn't actually leave room for that much bio, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good 50 supply there. So, Marauders do come in to be getting a free Thor. That's very nice, as Thors are pricey and annoying units. Does have the planetaries to fall back to, which is also nice. That Liberator Circle is perfect.
Yeah, man. Is there advanced ballistics? I don't think that's like advanced ballistics range, is it?
No, I think he just got as close to the turret as he could without getting closer.
Okay.
He's getting so many kills in that.
Vikings of Wickedbot do come back, which, again, they can handle the Liberators, but they're not also programmed to land, I don't think, which might be something that Wickedbot wants to do at this point.
Yeah, he's not building more Vikings, which is nice. So he does just accept the fact that, it's going to cost him 20 supply to just own the air.
About 30 SCVs have died for Wickedbot, so its bank is basically gone. Its income has plummeted. All the SCVs that were to repair this planetary are now gone. So the Cyclone actually kills it, and things are looking really sour. There's Antibot with 2 Thors out on the map causing problems. I'm not sure how many SCVs they've killed, but it's quite a few. And yeah, I think Wickedbot just has invested too much in Vikings, invested too much in medivacs and drops that weren't getting that much done, whereas its main army was unable to cut it against what Antibot had. Oh, look at that. So many units are stuck, I think, in the natural. Of the natural of Wickedbot. There's the problem right there. That's why its supply was so low. Oh, dear. Oh, that's
these
so
poor
funny.
guys can't catch a break. This is the life of a Terran.
It really is.
You have this much space to build all your production. By the way, you're going to get everything stuck if you do build all your production.
Oh, it's just going to be like fish in a barrel for these Marines if a tank gets set up. Hopefully a building dies so that these units can actually get out, but...
I'm not seeing any health dropping off that fusion core, so I think it's going to be all the units dead before the structures die.
I'm just like, is it all just Vikings and medivacs? Why Wickedbot has basically no units? Nope. Turns out there's a much bigger problem. The fusion core may die, but not before all the bio units are taken care of. Oh, this is heartbreaking for Wickedbot.
There you go. Now you got 4 Marines left after the breakout.
Yeah, and it just really highlights the hell that is base management for Terran bots, to see that we have 2 very good Terran bots, but they both struggle with this.
And understanding terrain is one of the most difficult things for any bots. I don't think anyone does it well, but yeah. Understanding that you've blocked yourself in with the terrain when you're building production as a Terran is part of that problem. Alright, nice win for Antibot. Let's see if Antibot's capable of actually finishing the game, which we've seen Wickedbot have issues with.
Yeah, now is it time for Antibot to get some units stuck to give Wickedbot a chance? It's quite unfortunate. I would love to see how a game plays out where neither bot has their units stuck, so...
Yeah, I mean, Wickedbot definitely was well ahead, but looking like he had the wrong composition to deal with Antibot, so... How those 2 things together plays out, I don't really know. Probably favors Antibot, but...
I think so, still, but like Wickedbot just doesn't have a chance when its units are all stuck like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
And when
Oh
you're
man.
well ahead economically, you can trade poorly and it can still be good for you as
Yeah.
long as you keep that lead. But not that poorly, not that poorly where half your army's missing.
yeah, I feel really sorry for Wikibot there. He definitely would have stood more of a chance with that. With those units on the attack at that point, I think it could have broken through easily.
I mean, he had such a big lead and he just wiped out the main base of SCVs from Anibots. And then if he had his army actually available, maybe he wipes out the aggressive push out of Anibot as well. And then that would have looked great for him. But we'll never know, I guess.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we might see another game between them later in the tournament, but they both have to qualify, so still possible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No elimination on these two. They're both 1-1. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Wikibot will be on his last leg, and Anibot will be vying for entering into the final 8
Yep.
next week, whenever he plays next.
And
This
next,
this tournament format is just awesome for that.
it's good fun.
Yeah.
Right, next up we have another old bot that has been around a while and is still really high on the ladder. It's Benbot BC by Blozia. Beat Caninana and then came up against a behemoth that is -0, so finds itself at 1-1. And,
Yeah, this will be an interesting match.
Uh,
Benbot, I
yeah.
think, traditionally feels a little bit stronger, but Xena's always being worked on. Xena's also very strong. I think he had. Do you have a tournament victory or like a finals finish? He did very well
yeah, I
previously,
think
and
he
he's
finished.
random.
I think
And
he
when you're
finished
random, anything
second.
can happen.
Yeah, I think he finished second in one of the tournaments. I don't think he had a victory yet.
Yeah, so
Seeded
second, but
fourth.
second place is really impressive when you consider how
Yeah.
many powerful bots are out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And Xena, yeah, it's just it's got really great fundamentals for being a cheesy bot.
yeah,
And yeah, I do think that Benbot maybe has like the strategic edge as far as like the author maybe putting in like build selection or something for the tournament, whereas I'm not sure if Xena is too active for that at the moment. So
yeah. I'm not sure. They have been very active in the past, so I'm not sure if they've gone specifically build variant for this tournament. But let's find out, I guess. All right, I will get this game on the road. There we go.
Okay, we're on Maganatha and spawning in the top left. It is Benbot BC, the Java Terran bot. And in the bottom right, we have Xena, the spawning as a random actually, but spawning as Zerg in this match, as the
Ooh.
blue Zerg. I believe he's written in, I want to say Haskell. Yeah, I think so. Anyways, yeah, looks like it's going to be a hatch first. Pretty standard out of Xena. Benbot building his depot right next to the minerals. There used to be something way back in Wings of Liberty a lot of Terrans used to do. It's like the closer I build it to the minerals, the faster I can get back to mining. It's like little extra income. And then
Yeah.
people realize that, walls are really important for Terrans. Every depot's
Yeah.
position is actually super important. In theory, I think Zerg can beat any Terran ever if they don't have a wall. Because they can just
I
build
think
more
that's a fair
army.
statement.
Yeah. Like if there was no terrain, if it was just like a wide open map, I don't think Zerg could ever lose. Whenever they decide to attack, they can just overwhelm the Terran. The Terran relies on defensive structures and choke points and things along those lines. I guess Terran can kind of create their own choke points with their own structures and whatnot. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Looks like we do have Benbot going for that proxy bunker just to contain Xena a little bit. I wasn't sure if it would do this because Xena is a random opponent, but it's still like this is just such an efficient build from the author because like it can cause really big reactions from the opponent. It looks like this bunker does actually get up. Benbot will lose the SCV, and so Xena may actually just kill this with the drones. Oh, what? Why? Uh, was it the hatchery? finishing up or something? Why Xena abandoned that?
I don't know. Maybe he just didn't consider it a threat anymore.
That's quite bizarre, as Benbot will send another SCV to repair this up.
Oh, does he do that? Oh, there's the SCV, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be an issue then.
Oh man, hugely wasted opportunity by Xena. I'm curious what prompted that. Like maybe it saw a Marine moving across the map or something, and so it was like, okay, time to not fight against a bunker. But
Yeah, it could be something along those lines. Like if you see an enemy army unit, then pull back your workers, but without the calculation of where that enemy army unit is. The interesting part is though, he can transfer workers between all of his bases and not be in range of that bunker. So
yeah,
it doesn't have to be. You can ignore it if you really want to, and it actually won't be much of a threat.
Yeah, we'll see if Xena actually like does ignore it and just like macros like normal, which it really does seem like it's doing it. Is a queen maybe going to path into that bunker or something? Nope. One thing that I do like that Benbot does is that it will reinforce this with a siege tank. So that's quite nice that it will have that coming.
Yeah, I think he has different variants of like doing a massive containment and sending all of his army there, or just like a minor containment and one SCV and some Marines. It all depends what variant he's going for here. And I cannot even guess because I don't think I've even seen Benbot play versus random. That Overlord needs to decide a better path. Hopefully he has a detection of danger. Or did he just fly right over the bunker and die? I'm not sure.
It did turn around, it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's those really great fundamentals of Xena. Makes sense that they do have like smart overlord behavior too, since they do use them to help with that creep spread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like they're all sent out to help with the creep spread, and now they're come back home. I actually like this. He's just macroing up and completely ignoring the bunker. And when he does engage, he's going to have so much army that the bunker is really not going to be a threat at all.
And there is Lings out now.
Okay, drones going that way will get caught. So he can't take the fourth without dealing with that bunker.
Yeah, and will this be a spiral? Yeah, it looks like it is a death spiral, potentially, which could really hurt. And there's that tank showing up to reinforce this.
Yeah. So I like the idea of ignoring it until you're ready to bust through, but he's just ignoring it forever. There is like, he just runs right by it with workers, with Lings. At some point you gotta engage that thing.
It's quite bizarre what's going on here, but I wonder if it is just that the placement's so far back, because like I imagine if the bunker was like right next to the hatchery, Xena would be like, okay, it's a containment, but or a proxy bunker, but since it's maybe so far back, Xena just doesn't have code to like handle this super properly.
And it never looks like a big deal when we're watching this, but like these workers that just like walk out to their death, that's literally lost the game for him already, I believe.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like an impactful thing, but he's lost probably like 20, 30 workers. He can't do that at the start of a game, and not against a bot like Benbots. That's 25 drones that have gone down, and it's just going to be more and more.
And that's why this opening is just so strong from Benbot. Like, it completely just cripples so many bots, unless they have like anti-Benbot programming, basically. And so, yeah, it's incredible value, relatively low commitment for the Terran. It's not no commitment, but like the damage that it's got done in this case has been immense.
Yeah, and even programmatically, it's a low commitment. Like we always complain about ProBrush being something you could code a ProBrush bot in an hour, but it takes a month to write a bot that can deal with a ProBrush. And it's kind of the same thing with this. It's very simple to like try a proxy bunker build, but it's a lot of effort for enemy bots to deal with a proxy bunker.
Yeah.
Maybe just like dealing with it poorly, just like pulling like 15 drones just to guarantee it goes down. Like maybe that's not the most ideal scenario, but at least you don't have to worry about ending up in a scenario like this later on.
Yeah, well, like Xena did have the Like, it had that bunker dead, just it pulled the drones off too early. And now there's a battle cruiser showing up.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh dear.
I mean, we're still watching this game, but this this game is so over right now. You can't lose
Yeah.
like 50 drones or whatever it is. And the Queen's outrange battle cruisers apparently, as we're seeing here.
I don't think there's a Zerg bot that, like, I don't think there's a single Zerg bot that could come back against Ben bot in this situation. It's just too efficient in the late game. Yeah, really, really nicely done by Ben bot. Just there's a reason why it does this opening almost every single game. It works against so many opponents, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think he even saves stats on how successful it is versus various bots, and he'll remember if a bot broke it in the previous game. So
Yeah,
he can use it when it's
definitely
effective
does.
and not use it when it's not effective, which is you know, nice to have. Moving between bases is no longer safe now that there's a siege tank out there. Especially with all the creep spread it's denied. These queens going off creep are having a trouble time making it around.
Yeah, and like, Xena does have like very good macro fundamentals, but I don't think it has like dynamic composition or anything like that. Like, it'll make some hydras to kill most anti-air units, or most air units, pardon me. But when Benbot hits like 5 battle cruisers, it just will not make the hydras or transition to corruptors to deal with it. So
Yeah. It might be if Xena's army gets to a certain size, he'll blow through this containment, but I don't think he can get to that size when all he's doing is rebuilding drones that are constantly dying.
yeah, and even if it breaks the containment, like, Benbot's ahead so much supply, it's already building battle cruisers and getting all the upgrades, that kind of thing. I don't want to know how many drones have died, but at the same time, I kind of do. So it's probably at least over 100 at this point. Okay, I'm wrong
up there?
by quite a bit. But
Yeah, I mean, drones can survive one tank shell, so some of them take a hit and run away. Like that one there, but they're still not getting to where they want to go. So it's just this constant wave of drones that are trying to move from one base to another. He's even got the base on the far side of the, like, he's got bases surrounding this entire position. And when you're trying to move drones between those bases, not good.
one Hydro, 2 Queens trying to fight off some battle cruisers. It's definitely not ideal.
Yeah, and nothing like corruptors or anything like that on the way. We do have neural parasite on the way, but that
I
won't
think
help.
the
without
bunker
army.
finally got killed. Look at that.
Okay. Xena has joined the game now at the 10-minute mark. Let's see how he does against the 160 supply Benbot. I mean,
Like,
honestly, supply count is somewhat similar, but units
yeah.
lost is probably absolutely insane.
Like, Xena can definitely fight like the ground army, maybe get a nice attack against a planetary. I just think that like Benbot's battle cruisers will be way too much of a problem. Yamato Cannon going to delete a queen. Hydra's trying to fight the BC, but it should just teleport away, and there it goes.
I mean, base count is nice for Xena. Worker count is good. But the army size is just too small from all the early engagement. With no threats of infestors or swarm hosts, that means these BCs are feeling that it's safe to waste their, well, to use their Yamatos on queens, which is also pretty good value. Queens take a little while to build, 150 minerals. And
yeah, do we get a neural? We do actually get a neural on the battle cruiser, so that's nice to see and to secure a kill.
Yeah, even Benbot was worried about the neural, so he was trying to take down the infestation pit.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where Xena can actually build something up, but he's getting a little bit of time from Benbot.
Yeah, and Xena is maxed out, whereas... Oh, is Benbot going to lose another battle cruiser? Double yoink to get the kill. I might have to eat my words in this one. Like, I'm still pretty confident for Benbot because, like, it had such a huge lead at the start of the game. Xena is maxed out, and yeah, like, it does have quite nice upgrades. Benbot's getting nice upgrades and nice production too, but we've already seen 2 battle cruisers die, which does keep that critical countdown, as a third one may actually perish too, as BCs turn on BCs. Xena gets another one. Does it get another? Oh my gosh. Benbot, I think, needs to cease the teleportation into this main base.
Yeah, and we kind of missed it off screen there, but Benbot does have counters to neuroparasites as well. He will scan and try to Yamato down the infestor that's...
Yeah.
Well, we don't have the information, but the infestor that he thinks is doing the neuroparasite. Another base being shut down by Xena.
Yeah, doesn't attempt to lift off, will get killed, so that's nice. And there's Benbot with its little bit of bio just to be sacrificed. The Viking takes off to save itself, which is good. Xena's coming in, getting aggressive. The Ling micro is just nuts as we see the mass clicks. However, they are afraid to engage the tank despite almost killing it. Neural grabs a Hydralisk. Xena's potentially going to try and break this planetary. Looks like it does get a surround on it. Battlecruiser of Benbot teleports in to try and save the day, and it does save the planetary.
Yeah. But Xena is catching another base in the top right-hand corner now, which is nice. Losing a lot of roaches and lings, but I don't think those are the too important other units anyways. As long as he's not losing a lot of infestors or hydras. Although he will lose a couple here.
That cancel on that base is really nice. Benbot's like got 6 bases, so it's not going to run out of money for a very, very long time, but that could be a way that Xena can win this game if it can just eventually starve Benbot out. I am still concerned, though, that if Benbot, like, does hit that high battle cruiser count, group them up like it eventually tends to do, then Xena just will not have the Hydras to deal with it. We get an abduct on a battle cruiser. The battle cruiser then immediately Yamato's the Spore Crawler. Do we get a Neural to secure any kills? Not at the moment. There's Benbot dropping scans to kill an Infestor. Infestor does grab a battle cruiser, though, as this airspace on Meganatha seems to always be a point of contention.
And I got like Caninana vibes out of Xena here. He's actually using all the abilities of the battle cruisers as well. Using them to attack, using them to Yamato when he's got Neural Parasite on it. All these Zerg bots that have better BC micro than Terran bots do. It's kind of funny.
Okay, so Xena still trying to hold back against these battle cruisers. This is kind of what I worried about, though, that like it just doesn't build enough Hydras or Corruptors, and eventually once the BCs hit like 3-3, they just get insane efficiency, which we're kind of seeing now, so...
Yeah. I mean, we can't overlook that early game advantage you had economically. And
oh, yeah.
Hydras are not good versus battle cruisers either, so you'll always be losing Hydras if you're going to use them to fight BCs.
Yeah, and Xena does not ever build Corruptors. It's like the one hole. Like, as you said, the like the spellcaster use is phenomenal from Xena, but you do eventually need Corruptors if you want to fight this. There was a battle cruiser kill there, and another one gets knurled. Xena is still trying to step forward. That BC does eventually get released. Xena just teleports the battle cruiser to the same spot to burn the teleport as that neural runs out.
Didn't look like it even teleported though. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like a weird graphical bug or something.
Yeah,
it does complete the teleport.
There's more BCs than there are Hydras, it feels like.
Yeah.
And Benbot has secured another base, and maybe 2 more bases, actually.
Yeah.
It's just gotten to the point where it's too many. Yeah, BCs, they're good against Hydras. Like, it's probably like an equal fight. BC's air to ground damage is pretty solid. There's no bonus damage of Hydras versus Massive or anything. So when you got an economic lead and you get to fight Hydras versus BCs, that's going to be good for you, especially when they're all clustered up like this.
Oh, okay. Infestor trying to neural a BC, but then gets deleted. Yeah, Xena will not be able to fight against this army. Once Benbot has 10 BCs, it very rarely loses a TVZ matchup, as like the efficiency is just phenomenal. Even like when it's playing against like Eris or Kananana, which do build corruptors, the work the author has put in to like counter those infestors and prevent the BCs from being picked off is, yeah, just makes it very formidable in the late game. So nice comeback attempt by Xena, showing us that it's just a really great bot with solid fundamentals. Like, I imagine it would have maxed out very quickly and got aggressive against Benbot had that bunker contain not been so successful. That like then maybe Benbot has a much more difficult time. I like the abducts going on there and Neural.
Yeah, and I think actually Xena was better in the fights of VCs versus him. The problem was just, you know, when you lose 70 drones at the start of the game, you're not going to have that like non-stop like ability to have more and more hydras on the map. But if he didn't lose the 70 drones and he was staying maxed with hydras and using all these spell casts at the same time, I think that BC count would have just been slaughtered. Creep's been nice. That's something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just yeah. 200 supply of battle cruisers and a bank to rebuild them all again. This is looking fantastic for Benbot here. I mean, if there is bots that are capable of throwing games, Benbot doesn't really make mistakes, but he does give time and opportunity to his opponents. So he's known for not finishing games quickly when he can. Xena, though, just probably doesn't have much of an economy left anymore, unfortunately. Ghosts in the mix. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wonder if he snipes or EMPs those spellcasters. That'd be cool.
It's a bit of a slow death at this point. We see those battle cruisers coming forward. Neurals are attempted, but Yamato cannons, well, they don't actually get the infestors that use the neural. But yeah, it's 3/3 BCs. Like they're very difficult to kill with hydras.
Yeah, they're also very difficult to kill with BCs. BCs do very little damage per hit, so when you take a BC and you fight a BC, you're just tickling it. Like in TVT, whenever it's BC versus BC wars, the only damage is the Yamatos. Yeah. Everything else, even with anti-armor missile, it's like pathetic how much damage battlecruisers do to each other. It's almost nothing.
I do like it in TVTs when like Terrans start teleporting in like one battle cruiser to counter one battle cruiser, and then just more and more warp in. Yeah, it's always a fun time.
And then someone gets impatient and warps all their BCs in, and then they lose the game because of it.
Yep.
I think BCs versus Tempest for that too. Where the only way BCs can fight them is if they use both Yamato and Warp.
Yeah.
And then Protoss can counteract that by using their own teleport on their Tempest if the Terran player tries that.
Yeah. It is quite a back and forth, but really well done by Benbot.
Yeah, no, it's always good to see Benbot in action, and he always brings something fun for tournaments, which is always good. We will be seeing him next week in the 2-1 round, which is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
And all that's like anti-BC spellcasting micro. I've never seen that out of Xena before. So to me, that's all new programming as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Who knows when he wrote that code, but I don't think we saw it until today. At least I haven't.
No, definitely. It's always being updated, I think.
It's quite
games,
rare.
You cast a lot of games, so yeah. Maybe
it's quite rare that you get like a full Xena macro game like that. Like it's 1 out of 3 it gets Zerg, and then it's maybe like 1 out of 10 that it plays a macro game. Maybe it does more in tournaments, but yeah, so we don't get to see that too often, and it's quite awesome.
Cool. Well,
yeah, when I think of Xena, you always have like very good like positioning of like Marines and Marine micro, but like his composition beyond Marines was like non-existent. It was always like the very early game units that Xena excelled in. So seeing this depth of a late game is really cool.
Oh, definitely. And when you make a random bot that has to play 3 races, a lot of it has to be kind of like quite cheesy and like, quite, simple kind of like tactics. But Xena actually does have very good sort of like fundamentals and kind of like can actually take that a very long way, which is good.
If I recall correctly, too, it's going back in time a bit, but I think the author of Xena originally built a Python bot that was like the number 2 Zerg bot on the ladder. So
Zoe and Evil Zoe, yeah.
Yes, yeah,
yeah,
Zoe,
yeah.
super
So
catcher.
maybe
Yeah,
his even in his random bot, maybe the Zerg is much more developed than the other ones because he had so much, code and ideas from his original bot that he could port over.
yeah, definitely. Cool. Okay, so next up, our last match of this round and our last match of the evening. It is -0, our number 1 seed, coming through against Aeolus and Bembot BC. Yeah,
Yeah, and he'll be up against Tier. That makes for an interesting matchup. -0 is like, him and Eris, you can't really argue, are the number 1 and number 2 bots by a large margin.
yeah,
But Tyr is a Titan killer. Like he has done it in the past and multiple times where he's gotten in tournaments and taken down the best number 1 bots, with his secret snipey sort of builds or maybe just a new tactic or new idea. Or even sometimes like he's taking out Eris by just having like this awesome late game with his Terran bot. So
yeah.
if
And
there's a bot that can beat like a bot like a -0, Tyr is definitely one of them.
I'd say he's already pulled up one upset in beating Zozo as well, which I
Yeah,
may not have expected. But
Tyr is
we'll
so
see.
sneaky though. I think if he has like something planned that can slaughter -0, I almost don't think he'll show it now. He'll wait until like he was like, I don't want to show it now. Let me get to the round of eights another way, and then I'll bring out my Titan killer builds. He is
that's
very he's very sneaky with those things. He doesn't show them until he has to.
that's a dangerous tactic though, because
Yeah.
like, you can just shoot yourself into the top 8 right here and now, or you can go through some very, very nasty, dangerous bots in the next round.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
think his Protoss bot has a secret build that beats Micro Machine, but he just went back. Well, and that dates all the way back to when Micro Machine was the number 1 bot, but he never actually encountered Micro Machine late in the tournament, so we never got to see it. But
all
it's
right,
out there and it exists somewhere, and no one knows what it is.
all right, let's do this.
Okay, so we are on torches here. This will be a best of 3, as the winner will be moving on to the round of 8. We got -0, the number 1 or maybe /2 bot on the ladder, spawning as a red Protoss in the bottom right. And on the vertical spawn in the top right, we have Tyr, the blue Terran.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
already having nightmares just thinking of like -0, what he does to Terrans.
It's an absolute monster. If anyone can do it though, it's Tier. So
Yeah.
I hope we get some interesting strategies or something out of Tier. Um,
Yeah, you need to like fortify positions, or you need to have like be faster than -0, like use faster units like Stim Bio. Because otherwise it's just like this non-stop pressure that just never relents. And it feels like you're getting all in, but then you look on the other side of the map and -0 is expanded to 5 bases during that time. So it's very tough to deal with. -0 is
Ye-
spotting the lack of an expansion, but he's doing pretty early scouts. That's normal.
yeah, the Protoss bot always gets that information to decide how it proceeds with its build. Like Nexus timing really depends on whether it scouts a cheese or not. And since there's no cheese, we'll get a Nexus from -0. Tier does go for that factory, so that's an indication that maybe it wants to get a bit aggressive early on. However, it's just 1 gas, so it shouldn't be anything too extreme, I don't think.
Yeah. We don't see it much anymore with the pros, at least, but I still like the idea of a single Cyclone to open the game for Terran. Because until
Yeah,
there's War Prism or Phoenix or Blink, and all those are pretty deep in the tech tree. Like Cyclone can deal with everything at the start of the game.
I think they
It
are one
makes
of the units that authors maybe could explore a bit more because they do have like basically an unlimited micro ceiling, right?
yeah. I mean, I guess the problem with Cyclones is there's also the unlimited micro ceiling for the defense, and the
Yeah.
ability for bots to instantly break lock-ons is really rough. But at this very start of the game, none of those defenses exist. So a single Cyclone can like deal with the early Stalker, the early Zealot, the early Oracle. It's like basically an answer to everything in the first like 5 minutes or so.
Okay, Tier does get a solid wall off at the top of the ramps, as we see from -0's adept pathing. And
Yeah, it does not understand why I cannot get in.
the SCV
Although the
cannot get in
SCV,
also.
yeah, everything piles in that corner. Okay, they are able to walk up the ramp now, so
Okay, there's the completed bunker. Another SCV will be sacrificed, though. Oh, does run away, so it prioritizes running, but I'm wondering if it'll just pad back down there again. We'll see. Yeah, I do like hunkering down on 2 bases from tier. I think if it's to beat -0, it probably wants like a nice tank timing where it kind of catches -0 in its macro boom. So like sit on 2 bases, survive any window which -0 could potentially like kill you at your 3rd base traditionally, and then maybe go for like a big move out maxed out, as that is something tier does quite well. Just max out with tank and bio and go for a big push, which even -0 can struggle with mass siege tanks.
and he's not going to be slowed down getting there either. Like I said, you want a fortified position versus -0, and this is perfect. A ramp, a wall, a bunker, like this. These harassing units are doing absolutely nothing for -0 here. It's not a commitment from -0, so he's still expanding well on his side of the map. But
Yeah,
at least it's not slowing down tier, so tier will have a fighting chance to have a timing attack overwhelm.
we are getting a second factory from tier as well, so it's going to be really embracing tanks or some sort of mech unit.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some success against -0 in the past by just doing like a one base tank based all in. You just get enough siege tanks that it confuses the enemy bot of how to like deal with them correctly.
Yeah.
But that does mean like I showed it on the ladder, so -0's author did a lot of work into getting really good at like knowing when to jump siege tanks and when to stay out of range. So he'll stay back, he'll get a full surround, he'll wait, and then all of a sudden, boom, he'll like blink on top of them all and kill them all. So
Yeah, -0 really is unrivaled when it comes to just like micro and handling armies that a lot of bots would die to. -0 can do it
Yeah.
pretty well. Tyr goes for a Thor. So this is an interesting choice.
yeah, Thor is like the opposite of the Cyclone, where there's not much micro you can do with it, but there's also not much counter micro the opponent can do. You just have to have a bigger, better army to deal with the Thors. And Thors are really supply efficient. Like you max out on those things and really good. And there's a legit like Thor Banshee build that works versus Protoss. The Banshees kind of cover the things that Thors aren't good against, like Zealots, for instance. But Thors are good against a lot of different things that Protoss has.
Yeah, they are not good against immortals though, and -0 is producing one of those. And -0 does have that dynamic composition generally. So we'll see if it does maybe throw up an extra robo or something like that. It is looking to get aggressive though. And if it commits into this army, it could go quite poorly.
Yeah, but -0 has tremendous micro, and the observer is going to see everything at the top of the ramp. So I don't think he'll commit unless it's actually going to be a good choice. I suspect he'll just kind of stay in the low ground and say, "Okay, I can't kill that." Oh, yeah, yep, he's staying back. No siege
Yeah.
tank, so you can get a lot closer. But yeah, well, one scan means 2 dead observers. Okay.
I'm wondering, like, Tyr's units are kind of pathing back and forth. Like, is it stuck at this point? Or,
I don't believe so. I think they're all just kind of piling up on the rally points. The Bots kind of look like that when every unit tries to go to the same rally point. They just kind of wiggle around a lot. But you can see that where they're trying to click is just on the other side of that depot. Just at the top of the ramp. I don't think they're trying to get across the map or anything.
Okay, so Tier's still just producing Thors and Marauders, and -0's getting up a 4th base. It's got +2 attack on the way, a second Robo on the way. Army supply is in favor of Tier, though. It's got +1 attack on the way for the Thors and the tanks. Like, this is just gonna be a big Hail Mary from Tier. It's like, this either will work or it'll fail spectacularly.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it ends up being something in the middle, where he does enough damage to make wave 2 kind of work, but where is he going? That's not the path
Yeah,
we want to take.
the gold minerals may be causing some problems as
Now
Tier
his own
does
tank is
move
going to
down.
block the Thor. Oh no. Yeah, unsiege that. Okay, he's
Okay.
unsieging it.
Oh,
Oh no, he sieged it up again.
Okay, the Thors can fit through, which is important.
One at a time.
Tier's going for a 3rd base, though, which makes me a little concerned. I think it's of course nice to have that as a fallback, but like it needs to be 100% committed to trying to kill -0. It's got a ridiculous amount of Marauders and Thors. The tank should be coming as well, hopefully. As Tier's going on in, -0 is going to move forward against this, just deciding to pull the trigger so quickly. The Marauders are very weak against the Zealots. The Thors are just going to be butchered, I think, by these Immortals, but no, -0 actually tries to path around them.
Yeah, that was an
Letting
interesting
some
choice.
of the Thors survive for a moment, but now -0 decides to fight the Thors. And yeah, Tier didn't even bring the tanks with the push, which were pretty much the backbone of it, I think. So
Yeah, I know -0's bot has all these counter tables, so based on what he sees, he builds certain units. You don't think of Zealot as being like a late game unit you want to use against a high-tech army, but really it was the perfect answer to Thor Marauder. Both Thors
Yeah.
and Marauders are terrible versus Zealots, and he had a lot of Zealots in his composition. His army was like 1/3 Zealots, and that just made the army destroy the Thor Marauder composition. Like if it was just Stalker Immortal, I think that would be a very, very different story.
it was super impressive by -0 how quickly it pulled the trigger on that fight as well. It's like, I don't even think it had full vision of Tier's army, but it's like, oh, I can fight this. And it did an excellent job of that as just that's well done by -0.
And that's why I say Thor Banshee is a real composition, because you need that one unit that can deal with the Zealots.
Yeah.
But also like Hellbats or Widowmine, something like that could work as well, I guess.
Yeah, like you say, it was very impressive how -0 just essentially went from 0 to you're dead in 30 seconds, and it was crazy. Yeah.
And that was the plan of Tyr. I mean, Tyr's game plan was like, I'll let him get way ahead in economy, but I'm just going to stay back, have a smaller economy, but I'm going to create this ultimate max out, walk across the map, dust his army, and then win the game. And that can work a lot of times. But the opposite happened during that fight. He got completely overrun by the composition of -0.
No, it's been cool. All right, let's see if Tyr can come back in game 2. We will check that out in 1 second.
Almost forgot it was the best of 3.
Yeah. Well, all games from now on are going to be best of 3. We have seen our last best of 1.
That's true. Like, yeah, everything's elimination now, or moving on now. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I guess you can still go to 2 and 2.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So spawning in the top right of ley lines, we have a -0 up a 1-0. Going to try to close it out here, and down the bottom left tier, let's see if we can come up with something new as they Terran, blue Terran here. GLHF with the big heart. And we got gas first opener out of tier. Okay. Love to see it. I kind of miss the days where gas first builds were more common for Terran players.
Yeah, it was kind of weird how they were so popular for quite a long time and then kind of just disappeared.
Well, it's mostly the 12 workers start that change things, right? Because with 12 workers, everything kind of stays the same, where your economy still grows as fast as your army. But the one thing that doesn't grow as fast anymore is your tech. So back when the 6 workers start, you used to be able to do like tech-based all-ins. I'm gonna rush to a Thor drop. I'm gonna rush to two proxy ghosts or something like that.
Yeah.
But your tech still scales up like it did in the olden days at the slow speed, but everything else scales up so quickly, like your economy and army size, that these tech all-ins don't really exist anymore. But yeah, there's a lot of cool tactics Terrans had back then. Proxy banshees and one
Okay,
thing I
so
miss.
-0 just scouting out again, getting that information. And it says it's safe to go for a Nexus, so it does.
Is it though? I mean, we got one gas, double racks. I mean, Tier's finding something. He might be saving up a little bit of minerals now, so there could be an expansion coming at some point, but that could just also be spent as soon as he gets whatever he wants with that gas that he's been mining for so long.
And it looks like it is an expo going up. Will the Marine catch the probe? Sounds like a dying probe there. So -0 will have to send something else out to scout, probably that adept that it's producing. And yeah, I'm curious if Tier will try the same thing or change things up. As a bot with many builds, you expect it to probably change things up. But this looks pretty similar to last game.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a ramp this time, so it's difficult. I like to do builds similar to this versus Protoss, and it's tough because the bunker will not defend your depots. So the stalkers will be able to find angles where they can start poking away at your depots, poking away at the SCVs, repairing the depots. These walls are hard to hold against early gateway units.
Oh,
And even the bunker getting harassed by the adept. SCV does return, but will die.
yeah, and I don't know if this bunker will ever finish up with -0 just being so good at targeting down units. Looks like another SCV gets killed. A third one should get it complete.
Yeah, there's
And it
not a lot of
does.
firepower here. And that stalker's not really respecting the range of the bunker.
No. Okay, it does
Okay,
eventually
as it gets
smarten up.
low, it gets back a little bit more. But sometimes these stalkers wiggle their way into positions because, like, literally all those depots can be shot outside the range of the bunker if you get the right angle. So each tank will be able to defend all the bunkers though, or all the depots though. So, and that siege tank, I wish it moved forward a little bit because -0 does not know it exists, and he will get a free
and
kill. Yeah, if it
now it
fires.
does.
Yeah. So -0 will remember where that tank is and won't step in again. But yeah, the first step with how low those stalkers were was going to be a free kill, and he got that free kill. It's a nice start out of Tier here. He did lose a couple SCVs, but I think that's worth the stalker kill and solidifying his defensive position. So yeah, I think we're going to get a repeat of game 1 where -0 is just going to get way ahead economically, and Tier is going to try to power up to like the ultimate composition.
Yeah, like I don't hate it that Tier's trying this again. Just if it brings the tanks this time, I think that might make all the difference. Army positioning, of course, really matters too. But like, if Tier can potentially build up a big army, get the tank sieged up near -0's base, and then like force a fight into the tanks, there's definitely a world in which maybe the big Terran army can triumph.
Yeah, the one advantage for -0 this game though is that his adept shade is actually getting close enough this time to keep tabs on what the army composition of Tyr is, so he'll know how to counter it exactly. In the last game, the adept ghosts were like flying into a corner and not seeing anything. So Because that's really key to Negative Zero's defense, is to see what he's up against and to build the right counter units to it. That's one of the strongest things about Negative Zero. The Adept has moved down to the third base now, so now the shades are actually not going into the right correct location. So take back everything I said. They're all blasting into the corner once again.
Okay, so Tier producing its first Thor. Negative Zero getting an immortal, +1 attack on the way. And yeah, we're just building towards that same big old fight that we had in the previous match. Concussive Shell on the way for Tier. That can definitely help out, as it does like those mass marauders.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't do much against range units like Stalkers and Immortals. For me, I'm mostly keeping an eye on the Zealot count. I do see the Zealot count is growing in the composition, so he is, once again, getting an appropriate amount of Zealots for what he's facing. Is using the Phoenix Scouts, hallucinated Phoenix Scouts, so get, once again, even a better idea of what he's up against. Gets gunned down, but does see the Thor shoot, which means he knows he's up against Thors. And yeah, I mean, Immortal Thor can work against Immortals. Or sorry, Thor Marauder can work against Immortals, but not if there's a Zealot buffer. You need those Marauders to like blast down the Immortals really quickly.
Yeah. I think the way that Tier could win this would be like if it does bring the tanks, because maybe Negative Zero would back off from a potential fight and bleed off a few units if like it pushes in and then goes, oh crap, there's tanks, and maybe pulls back for a moment. But yeah, unless it brings the tanks, I don't think we're gonna have much of a chance for Tier. So here's hoping that it does decide to do that in this game, as these two armies are building up. The supply is quite even. Negative Zero has invested in a third and a fourth base, but Tier is just powering on two presently.
Yeah, Mortal count up to 3, Zealot count up to about 8. Looking really
Okay,
nice
here
for
we
Negative
go.
Zero there. Here comes the attack.
And yeah, no tanks. As Tier gets distracted by the one adept.
Oh,
Nice
guts of. I was
move.
thinking about it.
Yeah, but no tanks coming with this. Like, I think Tier should pull SCVs with an attack like this as well. Like if it brought like pretty much like most of its SCVs with an all-in like this. But I guess for Tier, it's not really an all-in. It's just a Thor Marauder composition build, as it is following this up. And
It is
yeah,
kind of an
negative-
all-in. I think he would want this to actually more or less win the game.
It should be
Yeah.
an all-in, but Tier's not really treating it like one with the Expo and the later upgrades. As we see, the Thors and Marauders can try. Negative Zero does back off momentarily, but now it's going to go back in with the Zealots, the Stalkers, the Immortals, and there's yeah, just a very nice fight for Negative Zero, showing us that it is the best bot.
Yeah, very one-sided. Thors are nice, but yeah, they need the right support. And yeah, I assume those have no upgrades as well, right? The Thors
+1 attack, but
+1.
yeah, not enough. Like, I would like to see this run back with Tier pulling the tanks, just to see like I still think Negative Zero would defend it, but like 3 tanks and some SCVs would have made it more likely for Tier to hold on. That is yeah, gonna be it though, as Negative Zero advances to the round of 8.
Yep. To no one's surprise, it's going to be Eris and Negative Zero as the first 2 into the round of 8. Once again, proving they're the top 2 bots.
And there we go. And Tier GGs and surrenders. It's one of the only bots that does that. But saves us some time there. So yeah, no. But
Eris does that because he GG'd in a game that he would have beaten my bot. So
oh,
I was happy about that. We were both like broke at the end of the game, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he could have won. He's like,
Well,
GG, I'm done.
Maybe he's stopped doing that because of that reason.
It was like a crazy edge case scenario,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah,
All right.
the
So,
GG code. It's code that doesn't help your bot at all, but might end up hurting your bot. But you still want to
exactly.
do it for convenience reasons, anyways.
Yeah. All right. So let's just take a look at the results from this round. You have -0, 2-0, -0 and Eris, as you were saying, are two top bots and two in first into the top 8. Tier and Sharpened Edge will drop down into the 2 and 1 bracket. They'll be joined there by Bembot BC, Zozo, GPT, and Anibot, with Xena, Sharkbot, Smallblight, and Wickedbot all going into the 1 and 2 bracket, joined by the winners of the 0-2, which were Dominion Dog and Avocados. All right, it may be time for the bunnies to come out, guys.
That's the
Bring
good
out the
news for
bunnies.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
good news for every bot author left in the competition is you don't have to beat Eris or -0 anymore to get into the final 8.
yeah,
Yeah, it becomes much more manageable.
yes,
I think every bot can be beaten by most bots, but those two cannot be beaten by almost any bot.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
Um,
I need to just remove 2 bunnies from here because they don't need it anymore. That's number 7 and number 8. Oh. So we only have
So
6.
what's the matchup we're hoping for?
Let's have a look. Tier Sharpened
Who are
Edge
the two crazy bots
Bembot.
we want to see face each other?
ooh, I'd have to see the. So we've got these 6.
Yep.
And okay, who do we already have advanced? We've got -0 and Eris already advanced now.
I want to see Anibot and Benbot BC. They just feel like similar in style. Get into some like late game mech crates shenanigans.
That would be fun.
GPT's pretty aggressive, right? I like to see him maybe against Zozo.
I'd
Maybe
love to see some
I
more
feel like
GPT.
out aggressing Zozo is a way to beat his cheese.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just go through it, shall we? Let's
Okay.
see my bunnies in my tin. All right. So first up, it is number 6. That is Anibot. And Anibot will face up against number 5, GPT, although those two have already faced. So GPT will go into the next round, I believe.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we're still looking for an opponent for Anibot. Anibot will face number 4, Zozo. That's going to be a
Anibot
fun one.
versus Zozo. Okay,
Yes.
that's gonna be tough for Anibot. Good luck to him though. I like Anibot.
Now we're
All
going
right, so
to
Yeah.
GPT. We're now looking for
GPT
GPT's
is going to face number
competitor.
3, which is Bembot BC.
I almost got the two matchups I wanted. They just got swapped, kind of.
Yeah. Oh well. Sorry about that. And next up is number 1, Tia. And Tia will face up against Sharpened Edge, number 2. So
Two of the
that's good.
old school bots.
Yeah.
They've been around forever.
Yeah, that'll be a fun match.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me get those noted down.
Sharpened Edge is no walkover too. He's has been updated for years and is still really really tough to beat. Not a lot of holes in
So
his game and a lot of different strategies it can do.
so these 3 matches we just drew are the all the bots that are currently 2-1, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the winner of those will be moving on to the round of 8. So we'll have 3 new winners
Okay.
from that. Yeah.
All right. So
And then we still have all the 1-2 bots
Yeah.
for
let's
The
have a
ones
look.
fighting for their lives to stay alive.
yeah.
Yeah, some surprising ones here as well. Like Xena, I would have thought would be higher up, but yeah, should be some fun ones there. Any matches you want to see there?
Oh,
Xena's a tough one because Xena can beat the best bots and lose to the worst bots. It all depends how things roll for Xena. Can
Yeah.
we see the list one more time?
Yeah, there we go.
I think Wicked Bot, like Dominion Dog, would be a fun one, or Wicked Bot Shark Bot, maybe.
Oh, that would be fun. I'd like to see Wicked Bot Shark Bot. That would just be crazy. All right,
That would be cool.
let's do this, shall we? And first up,
I hope we get Xena avocados. Personally, I
there we
think that
go.
would be a fun one
Number
too.
5, which is Dominion Dog. And Dominion Dog will face up against number 1, which is Xena. Ooh, that could
Actually,
be a
They
Avocados
tough
and
already
Wicked
played,
Bot.
one.
didn't they?
Sorry?
Dominion Dog and Xena already played, I think.
Let me just check that. Um, sorry, I should have brought this up.
In round 2, I think.
Yes, you are correct. So Xena and Dominion Dog will not face each other. Give me one sec. Yep. Right. Okay. Um, go back to that. Right. So we're still looking for an opponent for Dominion Dog, and Dominion Dog's opponent will be number 6, and that is Avocados.
Ooh.
Oh, that's going to be a fun one. 2 Terran Gods. And next up, we're looking for the opponent for Xena, and that is number 4, Wicked Bot. Wait, didn't they already face? No,
Xena and Wicked Bot?
no, that's good.
Yeah, no, they haven't.
Oh, so that's going to be a
I'll be
fun one.
I'll be sad if Wicked Bot just gets cheesed out
Oh,
by Xena.
yeah, that's going to be horrible. I'm feeling sorry for Wicked Bot now. He could still win that. That's going to be a fun game, but very tough draw there for Wicked Bot. And obviously,
Yeah.
out next is Sharkbot, and Sharkbot will face up against Smallbly with my bunny that's escaping, and that's number 2. Aha, there we go. All right, and that concludes the draw. I will have that on the website later. So that's going to be
Right.
Some very
Moving
exciting
along in this journey.
matchups.
Yeah.
yeah.
So is it next week we're doing all the winners matches, or
So next week, I think we're going to try and do all the matches because it's going to be 6 best of 3s. I don't know if you're up for 6 matches, or we could split it in 2 weeks like we've done this week. It's up to you, really.
okay, we can figure that out.
Yeah,
But those are some very fun matches. So link
definitely.
for that is, I think, in the description of the stream, guys, if you want to
Yep,
track all the upcoming matches and what's already been played.
yep. We'll have that up on the wiki later tonight, and yeah, it should be some really fun games next week as well. So yeah, looking forward to that. So that concludes the stream for tonight. So thank you very much for Catch Rock and Laughing Games for joining us. It's been a great stream. And thanks,
Yeah.
thanks everyone else for tuning in. We'll be back next week, same time, with some more great bot matches. Catch you later.
Yeah,
See you
thanks so
guys.
much for tuning in.